What's up? This is your boy Gilbert Arenas, a.k.a. Agent Zero, a.k.a. the Hibachi. Check me out on Unnamed Sports Show on Guerilla Cross.
Weird way, get it like Toby. You on my way, don't get cozy. Give me my trophy. Yeah, I had to pray, I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot, I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe. Yeah, I'm on my weird way, get it like Toby. You on my way, don't get cozy. Give me my trophies. Yeah, I had to pray, I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot, I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe. Yeah, killing my verses, living my purpose. Yeah, killing my burdens. Giving my service, yeah. I had to pray, I had to kill off the old me, yeah. Had to focus a lot, I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Guerilla Cross Radio, broadcasting live on GuerillaCross.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live. We are everywhere. I'm your host, Quan59. Got my man, just in time, Josh Williams in the building. He's not here where we want him to be, but he's always just in time.
Hey, listen, I'm on time today.
You are on time today.
This is a big one.
Okay, Shanti.
This is a big one. This is a big one today.
Yes, sir.
Excited. I'm wearing the only jersey that matters, and that's the old school Bullets. Bring back the old school Bullets. But I'm excited for today.
I feel you. Cream is back in the building with a brand new haircut.
No, not really. My hair just longer, more luxurious. You know luxurious.
Feel you. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Going through the same thing everybody else is going, and in the house a lot, and then out the house and making sure I
try not
wrap
to
up.
do too much.
You know what I'm saying? But it works sometimes. It doesn't sometimes.
Yep.
There you go. We are here. We are here live, broadcasting from downtown Las Vegas. If you guys ever in the Vegas area, you want to come to the studio and watch us live, pay us, and we'll let you. But no, we are here live every Monday, 1 p.m. West Coast time, every Thursday, 1 p.m. West Coast time, right here on Guerilla Cross Radio. And we do have a big show for you guys today. Josh been on the grind, man, booking some guests recently, so we appreciate it. How you feeling, Josh?
Hey, listen, like I said, I feel great. You know, this is a good one for the show, but also, you know, there's a legend, both, you know, from the DC area. You know, this is a big one for me, but excited to just, you know, ask these questions and get Mr. Arenas' take on everything. Yeah. So, you know, excited for today. Kareem, what's going on with the Niners? We gonna talk about that briefly before we really get into everything else.
Look at him.
He's trying to talk junk already.
Look at him. We'll have time. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna ignore
keep
that.
the guest waiting. Let's not keep the guest waiting.
Fair enough.
We could talk about it though. We could talk about it now. But we could talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
All
right.
Goodness.
We got the man, Gilbert Arenas, 3-time NBA All-Star, which I'm surprised about. I want to talk about that a little bit. I thought he was in a lot more because his career was a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
3-time NBA All-Star, NBA legend, Washington Wizards. Started off with the Golden State Warriors. We're going to play a little video montage of him before we get it started right here. Gilbert Arenas, here we go.
Puts it up, he scores at the buzzer. Wow. Gilbert Arenas hits the game winner for Washington.
A freak, y'all. I feel free, y'all. This is chill pop. You see her coming to the party in the B-boy stands. I rock on the mic and make the
Gilbert for the win.
You can call me most love. I'm coming to the party in the B-boy stands. I rock on the mic and make the world get down. Fly like a dove. They come from the I'm rocking on the mic and it's death. Outstanding, classic, active, every place it happens. Skill, power, passion, raise your red lantern. Stands as an anthem, based on expanding the vantage point in the past, present, and after. Rapture, mantra,
fires, too strong. I got it.
Masters, faster and vibrant from Brooklyn Island. Legendary asylum, black star shining. Bedford, Stivers, sinners and strivers, flappers, blazing Amazing like it spoke to the prophet in this constant, remarkable artwork. And God is the author, the Flacco the archer. It's right on target, ready, steady, responsive. Black light bright in the darkness. Gorgeous, the black fantastic, raw and dynamic.
And Arenas puts up the three. Gilbert Arenas ties the game.
Raise your red lantern. Stands as an anthem based on expansion. A vantage point in the past, present, and after. Rapture, mantra, ceremonial mastercraft. Of the master.
That was LeBron. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Black star shining.
Gilbert for the win. Got another one. He is amazing.
Artwork and God is the author. Flacco the archer.
Arenas weaves his way to pass. Gilbert alive. Gilbert Arenas all the way to the rack.
That's where the feed gets cut. He's about to.
This is where
Quan's
I
about
gotta
to cut
cut
the
away.
feed.
But you saw Lakers roll by a lot.
Would you look at that? Technical difficulties. No.
Pieces and chapters, volumes, turn it up, make it bump so they feel where I'm coming from. Brooklyn Island.
All right, man. We got the man, Agent Zero, Hibachi. I heard him say he's the GOAT the other day. But we got Gilbert Arenas live on the line right now with us right here on the Unnamed Sports Show. Gilbert, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. You know, I'm just looking at my little highlights like, what's happening?
How's that feel? How many times do you go back and actually watch your own highlights, or when people post them up and post them on Twitter or YouTube? How often do you go back and look at them yourself?
That's all I watch. Well, hey, when you can't do it anymore, you got to reminisce off of what you used to could do.
I feel you.
Oh man, now Gilbert, we were mentioning before the show, like how many game winners do you think you had, or game tying buckets?
Do you know how many game winners you had?
I didn't realize. I forgot that it was that many.
No, I remember that year I got hurt in 2006, 2007. I know they did a stat that said I was 46 for 51 in game winning or game hitting, like in the quarter, in the period, or in the game.
Yeah.
I was 46 for 51 on shots like that.
So this is what you do, is what you're saying. This is who I am, and that's not a problem.
No, that's what I did. Nah, you know, like if I had the ball with 3 seconds below I hyper focused. That was my gift. It seemed like that I can really slow the game down. When it was going fast.
Now, before we even get into it, just talking about that, can you talk to the players out there, the younger kids out there, about how much practice? I know we've all done the 3, 2, 1, but really when you are able to slow down and dial in on your mechanics and controlling your heart rate and your emotions in those moments to actually be able to perform and do it consistently like that.
Yeah. The 3, 2, 1 was is the typical. It started off 3, 2, 1. You miss it, then you're like, oh, I still got 2 seconds to clock, and you keep doing it until you make it. That's basically what we did growing up.
Yeah.
But you start really trying to be that player. You have to put yourself in situations where it does matter, it does count, and be willing to fail. A lot of players don't want to fail. So, they're scared to be in that position. Stars. Yeah. Franchise guys really don't want to take the pressure on being a guy that upsets 20,000, 50,000 people. So once you get that fear out of your way, it's and be on that positive thinking, then tapping into that is all mental. It's more of a mental thing than reality.
Wow. That's deep.
Oh, that was profound.
That was very. I didn't even know how to follow that up.
I'm about to go to a buzzer beater out in the parking lot.
Now,
Zero told me.
Now, before we get into your career and everything else, I just want to commend you on the No Chill Gil persona, and and just I want to get your take on when that switch happened. Because a lot of us, just from my background, I was an intern with you guys with the Wizards, known you for years, but in terms of other people in the league, they've always known that about you. But in terms of the fans and people there was about a 2-year stretch where every other week you were on Media Takeout or the Shade Room or someone saying something about Gilbert Arenas. So can you talk about how that has now become, you being able to show your full persona?
I think it started when I got in trouble. I was more of the goofball but clean cut type of personality. Never really crossed the lines. Was on the cover, of a video game. I blogged for, NBA.com. So, I did care about the image.
Sure.
I care about what people thought. And then once I got in trouble, that black cloud that sits around, anyone who gets in trouble. So, I was one of those guys that's like, man, I did 1,000 things right. I did one thing wrong. And that's all we sit there and talk about. You talk about the one thing I did wrong. We all make mistakes, but if that's what you're going to harp on, I'm going to take that personality on and try to put it in a light where it doesn't give the media the power.
Yeah.
Because the media's portray it as this angry, villain guy when I'm just a goofball.
Yeah.
So, when I came up with the No Chill Gil, it was, I can do me better than you can do me. You want me to be a villain, I'm more of Dennis the Menace. So I was making the Shade Room a lot because this outspoken jokester is, you come at me, I go back at you. You come, I go even harder. I'm going to double down, triple down, no matter if I'm wrong or right. So at least you get the sense of really who I am.
Yeah.
I'm more of the jokester style than this evil personality that you guys are trying to portray.
Yeah. Now when you when you talk about your legacy with the Wizards, can you speak on that? Because with Russell Westbrook just coming to the Wizards, and deciding to not wear the number 0, and that was completely in homage to you. Russell Westbrook, former MVP, more than likely going into the Hall of Fame someday. Can you talk about just the legacy that you left behind in DC and what that means to you?
When even with Russell wearing 0 when he first started and Dame wearing 0 because of me, that's, I looked at it like what Jordan did to the 23, but in a different way. The 0 meant that no one believed in you, and you're taking this internal power and you're fueling yourself. Your back is against the wall, and it's just you. Yeah. And that symbol of 0 is what people are going to remember. So where I fail is where Dame, Love, Westbrook is continuing to grow. And their 0 is impacting the next group of zeros. And just like Iverson with the 3, you want to leave a number that when someone tells that story, it lives on. So my impact, in Washington was just that. So for Russell to say, I'm going to go with my college number 4, is a sign of respect. But I really wanted him to wear the 0, because he is the new, Agent 0. He's 00, Agent 00, whatever was above me, he's the double, triple O of that,
All right, going back to the No Chill Gil, was there ever a time that you went back at somebody and you thought to yourself, all right, that one might have went too far? Like the backlash was so much where it was like, okay, I probably could have done that one different.
No.
No chill.
No chill.
No chill. I tripled down.
What makes a backlash is because someone don't agree with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's basically what backlash is. I don't agree with what that person said, so we're going to just all gang up on him until he apologizes. I don't, that means, if you apologize, that means you really lost to the public. So usually when the backlash happens, I just double down. You know, it's the only way to go. You just double it. You just pop it one more time just to let them know, if you come this way, I'm going to just keep going.
Yeah, you might want to chill.
But eventually, they stop.
Like, this man is crazy.
Right.
Like, we can't. It's not getting better.
This is the opposite reaction I thought was going to come out of this.
Oh, my goodness.
And you mentioned when Kobe passed, you had posted a picture of you and him on your Twitter, and you kind of mentioned that, you know, the way you react on social media. He had said, and I'll quote, "You told me to use my bright basketball mind in some form of coaching on an NBA college bench or coaching kids. Stop wasting it being an idiot on social media." What did that mean to you, and what's that mean going into your coaching future?
You know, we all know when we're not performing to the ability of what we're capable of. You know, so when I hear, you know, Kobe, say that, yo, do something better. Like, you know, why are you not coaching? Why are you spending your time being funny on Instagram? I mean, you're not an Instagram comedian. You're a hooper. You're a basketball mind. You should be like putting your mind towards the next generation of hoopers. And how can I question, you know, that when he's coaching, you know, a girls basketball team?
Yeah.
You know, you got this $100, $300, $500 million man, all iconic, coaching a girls basketball team, you know, using his time and dedication of what he put into the game, giving it back. And that's when I said, what am I doing? He's right. You know, I need to, you know, use what I was given. You know, I can't do the physical part of it, but mentally I can give my mental back in a positive way towards the youth.
That's good. That's really good. I mean, and one thing you did in the league, one of my biggest, my most hated Gilbert Arenas moments is when you went into LA. I'm a diehard Laker fan. You went into LA and dropped 60 on them.
62.
Wearing the
62.
Wearing the gold jerseys. I wasn't mad at first because you're doing it on Smush Parker. I'm like, all right, cool. But then Kobe was trying to guard you too, and you were just hot that night, man. Talk about that night, and is that one of your favorite NBA moments?
Well, to be honest, Lakers always got their ass whooped by me. I'm not even gonna lie. From my rookie season to my biggest games was against LA. Like, it's always like before that 60, I think I was averaging 32 to 36 against the Lakers. You know, it's the hometown team.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you do. But, you know, my preparation, you know, going into that year, playing against Kobe all these years, it was going to happen. You know, I was on a heater, and, you know, coming into the LA, the mental challenge of, you know, how the game started off. You know, I'm a guard Gil, I'm gonna shut him down, and, you know, we go into the mental back and forth, and, you know, once I got warm, you know, there was really nothing he was going to do. One, because, you know, I knew his defensive strengths and weaknesses. So every time we did play against each other, I just stayed away from what he was great at. So I didn't play with the ball. It was either one move goal, one move shot. You know, it wasn't going to be I sit around and play with a great defensive player. You know, that's what makes defensive players great.
Yeah.
You make your offense complex. You know, it's when you're playing against the Kawhi Leonards, you know, the Michael Jordans, the Kobes, you just got to go. You don't have time to sit there and let them learn the rhythm of your game.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. You know, defensive guys are like computer. Offensive guys are like computer, but a defensive guy, they're trying to learn the rhythm of what you do. So, you know, a move I make on Kobe in the first quarter, that's it. I can't do it again. You know, because he's gonna pick that up, and I try to, you know, use that for a game winner. He's snatching that. So when you're playing against a great defensive player, your move selection is different.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to bop, 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 and think you're going to do that the whole game against that. Nah, they're going to lock that up and figure that out and shut you down. So when I played against Kobe, it was all freestyle.
Okay. Wow. So who was your toughest defender in the league? Who'd you have the toughest time playing against?
Uh-oh, you're going to have to big up somebody that you don't want to. I can already see it in your face. I can see it. You can let it out. Go ahead and let it out, Gilbert. It's going to be somebody that nobody's even thinking.
This is therapy.
You're in a safe place. You're in a safe place, Gil.
We won't tell
where
anybody.
you guys at right now?
We're in Vegas.
It's hometown boy then. Marcus Banks.
Marcus Banks.
Big up to Marcus.
Let's
We're gonna
go.
have to, we've had Marcus on the show. We've had Marcus on the show.
He used to give me I used to hate that dude. He's a good dude. It was his lateral quickness and strength stopped me from using the game I wanted to use. So, when it came to stronger guys, as long as I had my speed going, once the impact happened,
you were by them. Yeah, you were by them.
But because he never let me get that head of steam,
wow,
and he always kept me out of motion, it kind of frustrated me. So he had picked me up full court. So he pulled the Patrick Beverly on me, picks me up full court, and then when I tried to take off, he was there, stopped the momentum.
Wow.
And like for a defender, he probably ripped me 2 times a game. Like he averaged 2 steals on the ball on me.
Wow. And
I always had to, Larry or Deshaun, you bring it up and let's go on the post. So I'll beat him up in the post. So I'll have my 30, but it wasn't the 30 I wanted to have. It was not flashy. It was a hard 30, sitting at the free throw line or sitting in the post.
Wow.
So with him, I would have never really had 60, 50. It was going to be a hard 30, 35.
Wow. That's good, though, because somebody else has said that, too, about Marcus Banks.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising because he was a really good defensive player, but it's just surprising because, we've talked to him about it before on the show. He should have been in the league a lot longer than he was. And, we can talk about that a little bit later, just how people are in and out of the league sometimes and some of the politics behind it.
Just don't stick.
What do you think you could have done in the NBA right now with the rules set the way they are? The defense is a lot softer. You can't guard them at all. How would you do in today's NBA if you had let's say the James Harden rules?
Quan stealing questions again.
My bad,
good.
bro.
It's all right. It's a good question.
Not even going to lie. I'm not even going to cap on it. 40 easy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Gilbert, but can you explain to people that do not understand why when legends talk about how much they could average and what they could do in this league, what the difference is really? Because people say that and they're like, oh no, the old guys are just on their, on the porch and they're mad. But it's like, no, there's certain rules and certain aspects of the game that have inherently changed.
Well, it's the type of old guy. Well, you got to remember, I was in the era where I'm changing guard play, the point guard play. So before me, there was no Curry or Westbrook or Dame.
Yes.
I was creating it.
You were the combo. You were the original combo, truthfully. If you really think about it, you really were.
Guard. Yeah. So people don't realize I averaged 29 with 2 other players that averaged 20 also.
Yeah.
We were getting buckets. We were the Sons of the East.
Where you have a defending center down there. You have the 7-foot Shaquille. You have McGlure. You got all these big defending centers back there.
Yeah.
Where I'm still scoring 30 and getting to the free throw line. Now, if you take them away and your backline power forward is PJ Tucker or Capella, I don't know who's stopping me from getting to the basket. So it's basically a faster James Harden who's going to get to the basket. We got to remember, I did post up.
Yep.
Backdoor. I didn't use dribbles like that. You know, I was in an offense where I didn't need to dribble. So I'm backdoor shooting. So I'm putting more possessions in the game like a Steph Curry. But I'm getting to the basket like a James Harden. Mm-hmm. So when your backline defense isn't these 230 I mean, not
250.
290. You know, I don't know who's stopping me from getting to the lane. There's no all that. We're gonna switch.
Speak on it. Speak on it, Gilbert.
If the point guard couldn't guard me and he couldn't keep in front, what was your 2, 3, 4, 5 gonna do? Like I used to love when the Bruce Bowens and the Rajah Bells and the Tony Allens and, you know, in the Matrix, they got on me. Oh, that's a field day. You have no speed. You have no speed. So I'm just gonna beat you to the basket. Now, if you got your 5-man that's gonna switch onto me, I'm just gonna take him to the basket because who's gonna try to block me? No one.
And you can't foul hard.
That was the difference why I say I'll average 40 because you don't have no backline defense.
Thank you, Gilbert.
That's gonna actually
we
keep me
appreciate
from
this.
out of the lane.
I will forever roll videotape whenever I start this argument with people from now on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gilbert.
You're so fun at parties. Just gonna carry this video with you.
There's only a few that can really like jump into, like, you know, there's a like Penny Hardaway, you know, there's no player like him today. Yeah. You know, that 6'7", 6'8", you know, bouncy, athletic, pure point.
Yeah.
You know, transitional guys who can transcend through different eras. But there's not a lot. There's a few. I think Allen Iverson, you know, will have a field day in this era.
Because again, he grew up in an era of hand. I mean, he grew up in an era of hand checking, of having the big people in there, and still was killing. You know what I'm saying?
Hand checking is overrated.
Thank you.
Oh, all right. Wait, now you've helped Kareem's argument, but go ahead. I'll let
please talk to him. Hibachi, talk to him.
So hand checking used to work on a guard who was setting up offense. You know, they had a big man, and we're trying to do the 5 down. So I'm going to sit there and, you know, the old Mark Jackson, turn my back, and you get the hand check me, and I got to pass it into the big. Yeah, hand checking works if that guard doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't do anything. But once Allen Iverson came into the league and he's coming downhill, there's no hand check. You can't control. I'm coming downhill. So there's no hand check that's stopping Westbrook or Curry from getting to where they want to get. You know, that was meant for an era where the guards didn't score. You know, if I want to hand check Avery Johnson because he's trying to get the ball to, you know,
David
Duncan or David Robinson, it works then.
Yeah.
But if Avery Johnson wanted to score 40, I don't know what kind of hand check is gonna, you know, stop him from blowing past him. Yeah. You know, so it was an overrated thing. I mean, think when Grant Hill came in the game. I mean, did Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen hand check that crossover he was trying to do? Nope. Not at all. That hand check didn't mean nothing. You know, so it was in an era where when the guards didn't do anything.
Now, Gilbert, can you speak on being a trendsetter? You know, when you look at the league now, and you look at fashion now, we have all these different shoe colors and shoe combinations. You know, when you first came in the league, it was still very much we play with team colors, whether it's black, red, black, blue, you know, white, but team colors. You were one of the first people to start to change shoes at halftime and come out there with highlighter color shoes on. That didn't necessarily make sense. we were rocking red, white, and blue. Gilbert's coming out in pink shoes. Like, you know, you were one of the first people to do that. Can you speak on being that trendsetter and how the league has continued to follow those trends?
Yeah, you know what actually happened and helped was the alternate jerseys. The alternate jerseys was coming in, and it was like, well, we have orange jerseys on. Black doesn't match. It doesn't. Yeah. It's orange, blue, and white, and we got on black shoes. Man, it looks tacky.
Yeah.
So it's like, Adidas, can you make me some all orange shoes? So boom, I go into Golden State. We got the orange jerseys, got the orange shoes. Hit the game winner. damn, I'm doing the Heisman on him, and it just went. I get a warning. Can't wear orange shoes. Okay. And then we got the blue jerseys. Well, shit, well, go on, give me the blue shoes. So what ended up happening is I'm trying to match the jersey, and then what happened was they fined me $10,000. And then it was like, and then the rule was if you wear it for a game. Okay. So I wore it for a half. Can't find me.
Oh my gosh. That's how that happened.
Yeah, so now I'm reading the rules.
That's gangster.
Going off of that.
That's gangster right there, Gil.
So when my shoe was dropping, I said, this is what's popping. Everybody's worrying about the shoes. Like, nobody cared about what jersey style Michael Jordan was, wearing. They cared about the shoes he had on his feet.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on the feet. So I want colors. Kids like colors. Let's be different. And Adidas was fast forward on that thinking too. So that's when we did the drop gills, and we just came out with 20 different colorways.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Because it was more for the shoe. It was more for the sneaker heads versus the regular public.
Sure.
Because the sneakers heads got it, then the public went with them. So that's why it was like, all right, we got the regular style for the public, and then the sneaker heads, we're going to drop all these colorways.
That's good, man. That's good.
Anyway, so speaking of the devil, you just talked about James Harden earlier. Our man Captain Jack had some comments about him the other day. I don't know if you heard him. What'd you think about? You didn't hear him when he was talking about the Harden and the Rocket situation and calling him a rapper chaser and not wanting any accountability, I think was his exact words. What do you think about the Harden situation down in Houston? What's going on right now in the NBA?
Okay, so rapper chaser, don't want any accountability.
Basically, he said he wanted to go to Brooklyn first because D'Antoni's there. D'Antoni never had to have any accountability with D'Antoni. He could do whatever he wanted and get away with everything.
Who said this?
Steven Jackson.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. When you're the superstar, super franchise guy, I mean, no one really tells you anything anyway. But let's just be honest. So there's no coach that was gonna tell James Harden not to do what James Harden does. But let's be honest about the Houston situation. And I've clowned it for years. I said there's AAU programs that's bigger in height than the Houston Rockets. I mean, when your starting lineup starts off, Chris Paul 6'1", then you got Eric Gordon, 6'3", James Harden 6'5", and then your four-man PJ Tucker 6'5". What do you really think you're going to accomplish? Let's be honest. Like, you're not going to win no championship. You'll be lucky to get out of the first round. I don't care what your regular season record is. Your team is an AAU. It's an AAU lineup. We're just going to put you four guys out there that's under 6'5", and let's play some basketball. So he's never had a team that really had a chance to win. And I think he's at that point in his career where he's 32, 33.
Yeah, 32.
Now it's, I done led the league in scoring. I done did all that. Let's try to get a championship now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's at that boat. I mean, it's either chase a ring or die a villain, because that's all that's going to happen is you're going to get over there. You're going to average all these points. They're going to say, well, you don't do enough to help the team win, when technically the team you have ain't nothing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Your four-man is PJ Tucker. And
the silence was everything.
I'm not going to say PJ Tucker is not a great guy. He's not a good player. He's not a great player.
Well, he's not a champion. He's not a championship power forward.
He's not a starting power forward on the championship team.
To be with the Lakers, He needs to be with Miami. He needs to be Philly. That's the type of team where you bring him off the bench and let him impact.
Right.
But if you got a guy who's shooting, I think he shot, 37% from three? Mm-hmm. Which is amazing, but not for him. When all of your threes are wide open by themselves, no one ever jumps. Like, when he shoots a three, he's by himself. I mean, he's by himself. So he should be shooting at least 70%. Come on, these are corner threes, practice mode by yourself. You should be in the 70s. I know that's a big number but come on. You know what? Like, when you see PJ Tucker shoot a three, do you ever see anybody with him?
Oh, man.
Like, when he misses, you're like, what?
Come on, Kareem, you watch every game, so
no, he's speaking the truth.
This
is stuff I've been telling y'all for years. Like, y'all always blame that one dude, and I'm like, this team's not that good. They just look good because they got that one dude. That's what I've been trying to tell them for years.
Like, you know you're bad when the year, like, you got to remember, PJ Tucker and him was a 6 and 7 man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they become when they become in the starting lineup, what does your bench look like? Right. That was just that was my theory on the Clippers.
Yeah.
You know, you got, Lou and Trez, and then you got three starters that shouldn't be starters. So if you put Trez and Lou in the game, what did they have? I mean, when you put them in the starting lineup, what do you have coming off the bench?
Yeah.
And then, because if you put, I don't even know who the other three players were at that point. You had
who was on the Clippers?
Yeah, the Clippers. This is where we miss Dave. Dave is the roster computer.
Oh, the Clippers?
I don't know who 4 and 5 was.
What's the dude named?
Morris.
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 The dude that they got from the Lakers. European dude, I guess.
Zubac.
Zubac. Yeah.
So if you put
Zubac
Pat and Morris on the bench and put Lou and Trez in the game, did Clippers have a bench then?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, no. If you put them on the bench, once you take them off the bench, your bench is inherently harmed. It's definitely not what it was.
So basically, when they say Clippers got the deepest roster in the league, it's fabricated. It's just the way you tweak the lineup to make it look, because you got 40 points coming off the bench. But if you took those two players and you started them like should have, then you have 0 coming off the bench. So So in theory is you don't really have a full complete team. You're not the Golden State Warriors of 2014-15, where when they came off the bench, that bench was deadly.
Yeah.
So that's why I always was like, Clippers is not going to win it. They don't have enough.
Yeah.
Now you
bench players, and that's your team.
And you just said that you feel. I know Quan is going to be very excited by this. You just said that you feel that the Lakers are going to repeat. Can you talk on that? Speak on that before I.
Oh, that's for sure. That ain't even know. That's for sure. That's. I mean, you got the same team coming back, and then you added.
Trez.
You had the thorn in your ass with the Clippers was Trez.
Yep.
Yeah.
You added him, and then you added Gasol,
and the point guard,
which makes the Lakers strong, and this is why. When you went against the Clippers, they'll put Trez in and Lou, which forced you to go LeBron and AD. Now, the reason LeBron couldn't guard Kawhi is because when Lou and Trez did the pick and roll, if you switched it, Trez rolled against Bradley. And there was no defense at the rim.
Yeah.
So what happened is it forced LeBron to stick somebody. So when Trez rolled, he had to grab Trez. Well, once that happened, you have Kawhi
going downhill.
Danny Green.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that one player offset Lakers' whole defensive scheme. Now you get to have Trez, AD, and LeBron in the same game.
Yeah.
While they're small but big still. no one's going to be able to stop that.
And they picked up Dennis Schroeder too.
That's who it was.
From the Thunder.
Schroeder.
That was the only Achilles kills for the Lakers anyway, that they didn't have a guy who can create in the half court.
Yeah.
So when the ball stopped and they were trying to feed AD and it's the LeBron pick and roll, you didn't have nobody that can create their own shot if that pick and roll didn't work. So what ended up happening is you have Caruso, you have KCP, and you have either Danny Green, Bradley at the time, just sitting in the corner. Well, if they're in the corner, I know where they are. Yeah. I don't need to focus on them because they're not going to do anything else.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna all focus on this LeBron and AD pick and roll or this AD post up, and we're just gonna have all 10 eyes watching them. And that's where, their offense really went slow when they had that lineup in.
Now, who do you think comes out of the East? I mean, Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie, they look really good. Can they compete with the Lakers? And do you have them coming out of the East?
Yeah, I really do. I watched them a lot this summer, and those guys are in sync. They're in tune. They know their roles. You can see, just from the podcast, KD and Kyrie already connected. That's the most important thing, like having that connection off the court. So whatever happens on the court is meaningless because, that relationship off the court cleans up everything. So they're going to be intact. Philly I thought Philly was going to go to the championship, if they didn't lose Jimmy Butler and JJ Redick. I thought they needed one more year together. They was a bounce away.
Yeah.
Could be champions.
Yeah.
Especially if we rewind on what happened to Golden State, they could be sitting there as champions.
Yeah.
They have backline defense with Dwight going there. But it's all on Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons decides, he wants to turn into an animal.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to stop a 6'11" point guard who has the ball in his hand from getting into the lane. Once Ben Simmons gets into the lane, everybody's at his mercy. Because it's either a Euro dunk or he passes out or he throws a lob. So it all depends on his aggressiveness.
Now, why do you think Ben Simmons' outside shooting game is so weak? And why after 4 years has he not really worked on that? Because to me, that's the only thing missing in his game, and people know that. And so I think it's been easier to stop him. But I think he's an unstoppable player if he gets an outside shot.
What's so funny about, something that's missing? I'm pretty sure he spends all day shooting. But practicing shooting and really putting it to the test is two different things. When you're gifted at doing something that can't be stopped, it's hard to not do it
at will
when it goes wrong. Like, if I can get to the basket anytime and I've been working on my jumper and then I take my first two jumpers and I miss it, fuck it for the night. Let's go to the basket. Let's do what I do. I'm not going to spend my time, trying to prove that I've been working on my jumper when nobody can stop me going to the basket is most of the time the mentality. It's just one of those things where he just has to keep being consistent. And, my thing about him is just be aggressive.
Yeah.
I need you to try to score 30. If your mindset is to try to score 30, you're going to help out all the shooters on the team. But if you're going into it trying to be Magic Johnson and not being aggressive, what makes me leave this player for you to even pass it to him? Nothing. But if you're sitting there Euro dunking the whole time, coach is going to tell me, get in the lane.
Yeah.
Once I get in the lane, now that corner pass becomes easier.
Yeah.
There's a reason Westbrook averages 10 assists. It ain't because he's out there trying to be Steve Nash. No, it's because he's hitting the lane so much that all five guys is trying to stop him, which makes that corner pass easy.
Dribble penetration. Now, Gilbert, a lot of my disdain, I know these guys, they know I don't care for LeBron that much. A lot of that started with the crab dribble when they allowed this man to take 7 steps.
Oh, yeah.
Can you speak on how legacies could have changed and forever been altered had the NBA not let that farce live? Because it's so hard to even find the video proof of the crab dribble at this point. They have taken it off the internet.
And he named it the crab dribble, too.
It's definitely on the internet. I don't know what
No. It's not as like, you got to look. It's not you type in LeBron crab dribble.
Why do you need
get a lot of
videos of the same dribble?
Hey, listen. I want them all. I want the proof. I need the Zapruder film out there. I don't need just
one film.
What's funny is they still allow the move in college and high school. So the move was, it was a right, left step where I hop off my right, back onto my right, onto my left, and score. So it's still allowed in college. In high school, it just got taken out of the NBA, where most of the guards did it. It wasn't something LeBron created. It was already there. But because guards didn't take up that much space, it wasn't a complaint. But when we were losing to it, because he can create all this space and gather so much ground, it gave him the advantage. We didn't lose to the crab dribble. We lost to
Josh.
Being smarted.
Sorry, Josh. Josh has been for 12 years.
You're not helping me.
No. What we lost to was this. We got outsmarted in that series because when they went small ball, we went small ball. But we didn't realize that LeBron grew and he wasn't 6'8" anymore.
Thank you.
He was all of
6'10", 6'11". I keep telling people that. He's not 6'8".
6'8" to 6'10.5". Small ball now ain't small ball for him.
Yeah.
So if you look at all his last shots, Brendan Haywood was never in the game. We never had a center in the game. It was always a backup forward. So when he went to the hole, he was the biggest force there.
Yeah.
So when he decided to end the game on a layup, our center wasn't there to contest that shot. So the small ball backfired against us because at that point we didn't realize LeBron was the biggest thing on the court.
Yeah.
So when he decided to run and jump, there was really nobody contesting that shot. So he was basically going to the lane, unchallenged.
So you're putting this on EJ is what you're doing. You're putting this on EJ. This is at EJ's feet.
It wasn't you can't blame Eddie for not realizing the man was 6'10" and a half. It was one of those things where, we were matching up to what was, the personnel, because you got to remember at that point, the 5-man was either Gooden, which we couldn't have Brennan sitting with Gooden at the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Because that's all they were going to do. They're going to pull us out. So it was one of those things where we were trying to match up to that roster. And it backfires, just like it backfired against Boston this year, where a team goes small ball against you, but you don't realize their small ball is Crowder and Bam. Which is 4 and 5 still.
Yeah.
You're small ball, and you're trying to go small ball. Your 5 is Gordon, and your 4 is Tatum or Brown.
Yeah, that's neither of those guys. That's what they do. Yeah.
So what happens is when you drive to the lane, they have a shot blocker, and that's how Tatum gets his shot blocked because they're actual shot blockers in. When Jimmy Butler goes to the lane,
there ain't nobody there for him.
Gordon Hayward is back there. That's a shooting. He's the shooting guard in theory.
On one leg.
Right. And that's what ends up happening. Coaches sometimes it's just when it comes to player personnel, they get outsmarted in playoffs.
Yeah. Now,
When you had mentioned before when you were speaking to Shannon about how smart LeBron was, and just in terms of him being a human basketball computer, can you speak on that? Because I know a lot of people always speak on him being a basketball savant and different things. Can you speak on just the nature of his basketball IQ?
Yeah, that's what I said. I learned it. I learned it early. Just watching him study, watching him. That's what I said. He had that. It was like the bar setup. Where you got that sports bar where you got all the TVs. 4 or 5 TVs going at once, and you got baseball, football, soccer, high school basketball, and you got the little boxes that came with it with another sport into it. And he was just sitting there just soaking in just information, just in tune with it all, just understanding just stars, upcoming stars. I'm pretty sure you've seen his tweet from last year when he was looking at the college player and said, this guy's going to be special. And that's the player on his team, right now. So just by that, you can see he's in tune with it all. He watches everything. So, on the court, preparing for the Lakers in the playoffs, people don't understand when you're preparing, you have to realize that one player in that whole organization, which will be LeBron, he's going to know everything that you're doing. So anything the coaching staff missed, he's not going to miss. And, so when you're trying to throw out plays and throw this, he's going to know it all. He's going to know where you're supposed to be, where you messed up at, where to take an advantage at. And that's that. So when people say, well, he looks like he's the coach on the floor. Yeah, he is. He is. And that's what makes his teams so special, is because you have 2 coaches. You have the coach that's watching from this way, and then you have one who's watching it from this way.
Well, some people say
the whole court surrounded.
Some people say they only have one coach.
As in, he's the only coach.
I can't argue with that, but you got we're watching the game up and down. We're watching it from the 2K version. And coaching from this way is different from coaching it sideline to sideline. You're both seeing something different. So something the coach yells out and it gets rejected by the player is because the player sees something different going this way. And sometimes if you're not in tune with each other, that can be miscommunication, which leads into a disagreement, which leads into beef, which leads into a trade or someone getting fired. And it's all because we're both looking at the view different.
Yeah. And LeBron's never got traded, so.
No. Yeah, you're going to be fired if you thought about trying to trade.
Yeah.
All right, so when you were talking about your teams coming out of the East earlier, you didn't bring up Milwaukee. Giannis re-signed today, signed the Supermax.
$228
million, 5 years. Do you think their window's closed? And if so, or if not, what keeps happening to them in the playoffs that once they get there, it's not the same team you see in the regular season?
The media got to them. The media lied and told them that they were contenders because of their regular season success. There's regular season good where you're a coach trying to get the best record and you're coaching like that. And there's coaches where we're just trying to go along. And when we get to the playoffs, that's when we turn it on. So you got 2 different styles and, different organizations where, we're just trying to make the playoffs so we can appease the crowd. And, Bucks really thought they were good. But, sometimes you got to have a heart-to-heart with yourselves and say, all right, if Middleton is our second best player, are we actually contenders? Is he a real Klay Thompson to Curry? Is he a Steph to KD? Is he a Russell Westbrook to KD? Is he a Kyrie to LeBron? If the answer is no, then obviously he's a third option and you need a better second option. So that's how far you guys were off if he was the third option. So when the playoffs came and, you have, Greek getting a rebound, thinking he's going to go coast to coast in a half-court situation. It's not going to happen. This is not regular season.
Yeah.
We know what you do. We're going to shrink this court. You either going to have to turn into Dame Leonard or, and you're going to sit there and shoot 10, 15 threes a game, or you better hurry up and turn into Tim Duncan and know how to use the backboard on some post-ups, which we know you can't do.
Yeah. Now, going back to Brooklyn, they've talked about maybe trading for James Harden. What do you think that would do to Brooklyn if he was there with KD and Kyrie? And going on with Kyrie, and you talked about the media lying to them, to players, to teams and stuff like that. You dealt with the media with your situation. Kyrie doesn't want to speak to the media. He got fined for it. How do you deal with that as a player when you don't want to talk to them, but you're obligated to have to talk to the media?
It becomes a real sticky situation, to be honest, because I don't think the NBA has realized that for the most part, it's not as bad as we would think. That sometimes the media does want to paint a bad picture. Mm-hmm. So players don't want to get into it. We don't, we just want to play. We want to play, hoop, enjoy. We don't want to sit here and every day you want to talk about, this, and this, and this. All you're doing is just keeping the drama going, starting drama, and you're dividing a locker room that didn't have no issues.
That wasn't divided. Yeah.
So players, like, we say, you know what, we're not going to talk to the media. And then the NBA comes down and you want to fine us 50-something thousand, 20-something thousand.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think that actually does to me towards the media?
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to give them
got me in trouble.
Yeah.
Now you have this hostile environment.
Sure.
That you're, and I don't think they realize the money that's being made now is not enough. The fine is not enough to correct. It's not enough to correct the behavior.
Sure.
But enough to piss a player off.
Yeah.
And I think I said it on Shannon, with James Harden, Houston, fining him for anything at this point is pointless.
He's got a $200+ million shoe deal.
It's just going to piss him off.
And he has, yeah. That's crazy.
Because you're the owner, which is important. The $50,000 fine to say, I fined him, but he sits out a game that actually costs you $3 million, $500,000, whatever he gets paid for that game. Which one is really that important to you? The fine to prove a point or him playing in the game? Because if you fine him and he says, all right, my knee hurts or my back hurts, and he gets to sit there and collect these checks for free, your fine wasn't worth it. This ain't the 70s and 80s. That shit don't work no more.
Yeah, I'll feel you.
Contracts are too big for the petty fines.
Yeah.
So there needs to become a happy medium with the reporting and the players. Is because the players is like, that's why when I did an interview with KD and everybody's like, I didn't know that about KD. Yeah, because you sit there talking about does him and Draymond Green get along for clickbaits.
Yeah.
Now you got this guy who's shut down and he don't want to talk to you. He don't want you to come into his lane. He's gonna say, "Oh yeah, both teams play hard. You're gonna get those."
Yeah.
Or the
Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Don't know why I'm here. I'm here just not to get fined.
Yeah. It's the age-old dichotomy too. When they don't talk to the media, they get mad. Then you say something to the media, and then they turn it into a 2-week drama.
Person,
well, why'd you say this? Well, I wasn't saying nothing last week.
Yeah.
I was just fine, not saying nothing.
You find me now. You find me for saying that.
Right.
Yeah. Pick a struggle. Now. All right. Give me 2 of your craziest stories from the road, because I know you have some.
Boy.
And just give me 2 that are, you don't have to put names out there, but. I can throw a couple out there if you need me to, but go ahead and give me 2.
You better stop.
The road?
Yeah.
See, that's. I gotta remember, because for the most part, I didn't really like party during the season. It was more, that was more like, if I went out, it's like I'm going out to 2 parties. So whoever has the best birthday party going on that year, that's what I'm going to. The rest of y'all can fuck off. That was basically it. So whoever has the best party, that's the ones I'm going to. Everybody else, so long.
Yeah.
So road. What stories have you heard?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. All right, give me a story from Miami, because I know you got one from Miami.
So you trying to fish it out of him without just saying it.
There's stories out there.
Oh, when I was injured, we had that young team, and we had, is that the one we tied Nick Young up?
Yes.
We tied Nick Young up.
I'm sorry,
Hog
what?
tied him, broke into his room.
Yeah.
Hog tied him up, and then we was treat him like a stripper, because we wanted to go to the strip club, the older guys, but the young guys was being like, they wasn't following the rules, where we had a curfew. So we got put on this curfew where we had to be in at 9:00. And it started in Miami. So, the veterans is pissed off. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna treat the rookies like some hoes. We tied them all up. We tied them all up, hog tied them, got our ones, and we was playing music, make it rain on the rooks. Here we go, make it rain. And we're going to get our entertainment somehow.
And then, so, all right, so you bring up Nick Young. Nick Young after...
You've been picking on him forever, then.
Yes. Nick Young, after you made your comment about Nate Robinson losing, to Jake Paul.
Oh, he lost?
Yeah.
Oh, I was unaware of this.
Yeah. And you were basically telling him to bounce back, use this as a bounce back, and Nick Young said that after LeBron touched your chest, we still waiting for Gilbert to bounce back, and then you came back and you said he could catch these hands still to this day. So let's talk on that.
Yeah, Nick, listen. See, the reason he ain't saying nothing after that, right?
Yeah.
That was the last comment.
That was it.
Comment closed.
Because he knows there's no end with it. So if he challenged me in the fight and we had to step in the ring, it ain't gonna be one fight. He knocked me out. When I wake up, it's a refight. We're not gonna stop fighting until I win. That's just how it goes.
Until I win.
And that's how everyone in the locker room was. If we start a wrestle match, either I win the first one and it's over, or we just keep going until I win. And I remember that happened against Peter Ramos. And it kind of... So we had a guy, 7 foot 4'5", Peter Ramos.
Yeah.
From Puerto Rico. And I assumed that I can body slam him. He was just run off the mat. I really think I can body slam him. So we used to wrestle every day. I lost every day. I lost every day. He even tweaked my neck during the Miami playoff game.
Oh wow!
It was like what I did before the game, just wrestle and get that, and I couldn't move my neck. I was like,
oh man!
Wow!
I couldn't move my neck. But that was it. And then one day, got him. Boom! Body slammed him. It's over.
It's over. I'm the champ. I'm retired.
He's like, you're 1-94. It doesn't even matter, bro. I
won the last one.
Exactly.
I won the last one.
Last body slam. And I won.
People will never ever understand how much stuff actually happens. Be like, yeah, what happened to your knee? Oh,
I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about that. ESPN will be like, oh, he tweaked his neck. That's so sad.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I show a cut scene of him trying to body slam a 7'4" center.
Oh my goodness. Now, all right. So we talked about some of the stories from the road. Now, can you talk? I can't let you get out of here without talking about your affinity for Boo Ray. Why do you think Boo Ray is such a big basketball or NBA player game, and you can go from there as much as you choose?
No, when when I first came into the league, we was playing a game called Tunk.
Oh yeah, Tunk as well.
So we was playing Tunk. I don't really know who created Bure, but I learned it when I probably learned it at Golden State a little bit. But when I got to the Wizards and playing with Stackhouse and them is when I got into the game. It's just one of those games. It's just one of those NBA games where everyone plays.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, NBA is not like NFL. We get traded. You get to choose where you're going in the off season.
Yeah.
So we get traded. So like you can go from a small Blu-ray game to a very expensive one on a player getting traded to your team who's a high gambler. So for the most part, once Stackhouse left, we didn't really have like really high Blu-ray games.
Yeah.
It was $20, $10, start offs, because we didn't have players that played that game.
Yeah.
At high stakes. What we did play high stakes in was poker.
Okay.
Jared Jeffries. So like Blu-ray, it was me, like Earl Watson, Deshaun Stevenson, JaVale McGee, Crittenton. Those are that's our Blu-ray group. So it really wasn't expensive. But the poker group, it was me, Jared Jeffries, Calvin Booth.
Cal.
Yeah, so those, we'll do $20,000 buy-ins, for poker tournaments. So that was really the big game. It wasn't, Blu-ray wasn't our expensive game, so nobody lost houses and shit like that. You lose $1,500 on a Blu-ray game.
That was a big game. That was a big game.
They didn't make money.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Jerry. So I know how big that goes. Jerry used to play when Jerome played in Detroit. Joe Dumars, Jerry, Christian Laettner, a lot of the other guys on the Pistons at the time. And Joe Dumars used to cheat at Blu-ray all the time. And we all know, well, at least people out there, we all know that Jerry is a bit of a choker. And so Gilbert. So Joe used to cheat all the time. So basically Jerome used to always give Joe money. He would give Joe his per diem because Joe would go and bet the per diem and his money would triple and quadruple up off of one Blu-ray game. And so Jerome was always like, man, how's Joe always winning? Joe always wins, like always wins. So there's one time they were on the team playing, they're playing Blu-ray, and the plane hits some turbulence. And Joe jumps, and Joe got all these cards in his lap. And he was just lighting Jerry Stackhouse up. And Jerry couldn't punch Joe because he's Joe Dumars.
Right.
So he chokes Christian Laettner for laughing. So, like I said, I got some stories for you, too. There's some stories out there.
You know what's so funny? Now that makes sense, though. Because my first year in Washington, I have Jerry and Christian Laettner. So the Blu-ray game was Jerry, Christian, and me.
Yep.
Right. So I remember when, and I said it on the Shay Club Shay, and I said, Jerry owed me $9,000, and wrote me so I owed him, and he gave me a discount, and then he owed me $9,000, and then try to give me the same $2,000 discount. His is like $2,500, $3,000, so he only took off $500 to $1,000, and I won $9,000, and he's trying to take off $7,000. So I'm like, come on, man. So I don't, I hear the stories about Jerry, but I don't really know him like that.
Yeah.
So I'm around like, come on, how's he doing this? And you got Christian Laettner over there like, just take the money. You gotta take that money. So, that's what I'm looking at, you like, if Christian says it, you must do. All right, go ahead and give me that little
Something
$2,000.
happened.
Now it gives you a little bit more insight onto that relationship.
So I picked up on that quick.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
crazy. That connection. That's good. That's good.
All right, before we let you go, Gil, talk to us about other sports you're into. And if you weren't an NBA player, what other sport would you have liked to play, whether it be NFL, MMA, Major League Baseball? What would you be if you weren't an NBA player?
Not even gonna lie to you. I'd have been working at McDonald's, bro.
Oh, Calvin.
Like that.
No. Because, I heard if you work at McDonald's, you can franchise and own one.
Okay.
So it was probably one of the only, restaurants that if you ever worked at one, you can own one growing up. Yeah. So that was technically the dream job. And then, plus they had that Monopoly thing and you can win $1 million. So I figured if I work there, I can do the scratchers and I can get Broadway and Park Place and win that $1 million. And I love the fries. So, it was one of those things where, after I remember my dad said, if you ain't going to college, what you going to do? McDonald's, bro.
That's a real firm plan. Real firm plan.
That was luxury growing up. That was luxury.
Oh man.
I had all the things. You can work there. You got the $1 million little Monopoly.
I got everything I need right now.
Man.
What could go wrong?
I ain't thinking about nothing else.
Oh my goodness. Well, Gilbert, I just want to thank you again, man, for taking the time today. We really, really appreciate it. And
man.
any shout outs before you get out of here? I know you have
Chill podcast. Let's talk about the podcast real quick, man. What got you into the podcast and just it's been very successful. Talk about that podcast real quick.
When someone gave me the idea, I was like, but I'm not doing anything. So I was like, all right, let's try it out. So we did it. We talked about it. The first 3 episodes, I was like, I don't like that. I don't think I said that right. And he was like, no, you did 5. The audience don't know what you were trying to say. They only know what you said. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to watch that shit. And then he was like, it was good. It came out good, edited good. And that's how it went, that I didn't realize that, because we try to edit in our head when we're doing things. Yeah. And just the raw nature of, just what I was doing, people gravitated to.
Are you and Mia Khalifa still friends? Everything's still cool?
Yeah, she was very in tune with sports and what was going on. I don't think she was really ready yet for the comments.
Yeah.
And, in her world, she can control what's being going on. She can control her Twitter feed. She can control, her Instagram with the negative comments. And with the show, she couldn't control the comic section. And, so, when we post, and then all these young kids, obviously it's the young kids, going on there saying all the things they're gonna say. Yeah. I don't think she healed yet, to take, on that negativity. Yeah. And I think, just day after day, I think it just got to her, and she wanted to go back to the world that she could control. Yeah. But when it came to just, doing it, she did her studying, she understood sports. I think it was just the comment section that I don't think she was just at that moment in time. I think she was stepping into something new. Sure. Uncharted waters. Yeah. And I don't think it was the feedback that she couldn't control, and I think it was hurting her when she went home. You got to remember, coming to LA, she don't know anybody. She doesn't know nothing. Yeah. So it's a new place away from her environment. And it's all new, and I just think that just the atmosphere is just too much. What made her want to leave. Yeah. Yeah. And that was it. It was really nothing. The cast, everybody was all supportive. She was professional. It was just when you post it and she read the comments, and that's all, everything, just all that says, like this, and it's just like, this is irritating.
And we mentioned it last week on the show with Jamal. Jamal Hill from UFC, don't read the comments. When you get to a certain stature, you just can't read the comments because, like you said, it's some young kids doing it or some, 60-year-old dudes in their, on their couch writing these comments. You just can't pay attention to that at all. And I wish more people would grasp onto that and realize, people are going to say dumb stuff. You just got to ignore it. But,
I don't think we've gotten to the point where we treat social media as entertainment and not personal.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get into our feelings and don't realize, hey, listen, whatever you post, you got 10% that who don't like you, no matter what you post.
Yeah.
Those 10% won't like you. You got your 10% that's going to like you no matter what you post. It's that 80% that you focus on.
Yeah. Huh.
The 80% is, if you post something I like, I will comment and like it. If I don't like it, I'm not going to comment. I won't hit the like button.
Yeah.
And that's that group. So all we pay attention to is the 10%ers. The 10%ers is, you can write some lovely poet and then everyone's, yo, I love you. This was this thing. And then you got the one like, man, this shit was trash. And that's
real though.
Focus on who said your shit was trash and now you want to go at him.
Yeah, that's real though.
Yeah.
We're designed to respond to the negative.
Yeah.
Then we and instead of just focusing on the positive, just focus on all the positive people. Don't worry about the two negative people. They just doing that to irritate you.
Yeah. Yep. And they just hate on everything anyway. So they have to deal with their own demons in their life.
I'm on Instagram for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I get on there, I'm just trolling. I don't take none of this serious.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
It's troll time for me especially when I'm bored. Woo! Woo, this is like Netflix to me. Like what's so funny is I'll just like go through pages and I'll just comment and just say wild stuff, and then like hours later I'll go and someone says something and I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, I can identify with that. Yeah.
Do that today, and then they'll tag me on what I said. And I was like, yeah, listen, I was bored. I was bored. Just trying to stir some shit up and just forgot.
Netflix and no chill.
Netflix and no chill, Gil.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Gil, man, we definitely appreciate it. Next time you're in Vegas, man, come through the studio. Got to do this again, man. We definitely appreciate it. Good luck with everything you're doing. And any last words?
Keep pushing your legacy, man. Keep pushing your legacy on the next generation. All that you're doing with your training and your coaching, love it. Keep doing it and keep being you.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir. That is Gilbert Arenas, 3-time NBA All-Star legend. Knowledgeable of the game, man. Definitely knowledgeable of the game. Great having him on. Josh, we appreciate you reaching out to some of your people as well. Yeah. He's like, what?
I woke up like this.
That's what I do. But we do have some other, former NBA players that we're going to be, trying to talk to, trying to get even in the studio and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that in the upcoming near future. We are here live every Monday, 1 p.m. West Coast time, every Thursday, 1 p.m. West Coast time.
Or Tuesday when Gilbert says,
if Gilbert says you have a show Tuesday, well, guess what?
I guess we making our way to the studio.
Exactly. So whenever
he's the star that the coach can't tell anything to right there.
Make sure you guys download that Guerilla Cross app. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Share the replay of the show if you're just now tuning in. We appreciate it. Guerilla Cross. Make sure you tune in tonight for Let the Ball Bounce, 6 p.m. West Coast time, right here on Guerilla Cross Radio. And we are out.